Okay, we are making a cocktail for the gods. So, first, I am starting with some white Hennessy, and I am just pouring until the spirits tell me not to. And the spirit said, a little bit more, child. So I said, okay. Going with some OJ, and I'm checking this too, because, Hennessy's kind of strong. So, just a little bit more OJ. Adding some pomegranate juice, which just stay with me. I think this is really gonna work out. Adding a little bit of lemon juice here, some honey, and then I'm gonna put in some ice cubes. For whatever reason, I thought it was a good idea to put the Prosecco in here too. I'm not that smart, you guys, but that's okay. And my favorite, some edible glitter. So now, because I know that I fucked up, I am going to shake this very carefully so that I don't ruin the Prosecco. So just some very slight side to side. Next time, I will not be doing this. I'm actually going to add some pomegranates here because I love me some fruit in my alcohol. And just look at this pour. This is probably one of the better drinks that I've done, even though I messed it up. But beautiful? Yeah, absolutely. Let's get into the story. Let's give this a shot. It's not bad. I don't love it. There are definitely some tweaks that I can make to this. Also, I didn't measure anything, so that could be something else. But I can definitely drink this for sure. I don't know if I need to add like a little bit of sugar. Maybe it needs like a little bit more lemon juice. I don't know. But I love the way that it looks since I added the little gold glitter, which was not in the recipe. Whenever I think about ancient Greece, the ancient Greeks, Greek mythology, I always think of gold. So I was like, I need to add some glitter in here. Anyways, as you can see, I'm in a different setup. I'm at a friend's house, and I was like, you know what? I need to make sure that I keep recording videos, or else I won't do it. So I'm here in a different setup. This is actually way more comfortable than my setup, so maybe I need to buy a few things for my house. But we'll see. Welcome to Boozy Books, where literature meets libations. So today we're going to talk about Blood of Hercules by Jasmine, I think is how you say her last name. I actually did not realize there's another book called The Blood of Hercules, which is not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the romantasy version of this book. So what I did, and I don't know if I should have done this. I don't know if I'll do it again. We'll see. But I looked up reviews for this book before recording this, and it doesn't change my stance. It does change my ratings, but it kind of makes me wonder if I need to add in a few more like historical fiction, maybe some nonfiction, maybe some science fiction, maybe some autobiographies. Maybe I need to mix it up, because like maybe romantasy books are like decreasing my brain cells. I don't know. But there were a lot of bad reviews, and I'm just like, oh my god, I love this book. I gave this book 4 out of 5 winged ankles. So I really enjoyed it. I only took away 1 because I don't like age gaps, like big ones, which I think she was 19, and the 2 main love interests, if you can call them that, are 26, I believe. I mean, it doesn't sound too bad, but I don't know. And they were both like her professors, or like worked at the school that she was at. So I took a star for that because, as I said several times before, I don't like that. It's not my jam. Yeah, so let's get into this book. Okay, so I'm giving this book 4 shots. I really enjoyed it, so here we go. Okay. Okay, back to the regularly scheduled program.
I really enjoyed it. Like, straight off the bat, I just thought it was funny. I love a book with some humor in it, so I was just like, oh, this is actually kind of funny. The FNC, she's kind of weird. She has a stutter. She has a very quirky personality. This is one FMC that I didn't have a huge problem with. She's like one of the first in a while. Like, I wasn't like, oh my god. There are definitely some instances where I'm just like, girl, get it together. But for the most part, maybe it's because she used humor with her, like, talking down on herself. She used like that deprecating humor. So maybe that's why I was just like, oh, like, she's talking down on herself, but she's kind of funny, so like it's fine. But there are two things that she said, and I literally just stopped the book to laugh because maybe her and I are one and the same. But in one part, she's like, I made a whale noise. He didn't make one back. I was just like, she is so weird. And then another instance, she was like, men are talking, so I stopped listening. And I was just like, yes, girl, yes. And she also said something like, what she's like, just like, preach, sister. And I'm just like, that is something I would definitely say. I say yes, girl, yes, but preach, sister, same, right? So we have the similarities, and maybe that's why I thoroughly enjoyed her character. So about the book, right? So this girl, Alexis, she was adopted into this family who was poor. And they lived in, it's almost like a dystopian time frame because Titans are on the earth terrorizing people. They're really poor. The only people who have wealth are the Spartans, the Olympians, whatever. Anyway, so she like lives in this trailer park or whatever. She's abused, she's starving, but apparently she's really smart, like a math genius. She can talk to this invisible snake, who's like her only friend. Then one day some lady comes up to their trailer and she drops off a baby, and she's like, the baby has like these really weird golden eyes. So like when you think Blood of Hercules and like the eyes are like yellow, gold, whatever, I'm like, oh, this kid is Hercules. That's what I thought initially. But anyways, so you kind of like go through, obviously she's the main character, but I just assume maybe she's like gonna be Hercules' protector or something. But anyways, so she gets this new adopted brother, and the parents are like, yeah, we're too fucking poor for this, so we need to kill him. And she's like, actually, no, you're not. So she like has him hiding in the bathroom, and then like she's trying to like fight them off. Like they got into like legit fist fights, and then suddenly like her adopted mom is like screaming, and they're like, oh, it's a titan has come, and they're killing her. And so she like calls this emergency number. They come, but she lies and says that it was the dad, just so they can be rid of him too. Because she's like, look, you tried to kill my brother. You tried to like, you know, so you got to go. So now they don't get like reassigned or readopted or to go to a foster care or anything. They're just like two orphans, just like winging it, making it through life. Apparently they live in like a cardboard box or like a series of cardboard boxes. I'm just like thinking about how people have cats and they have like these interlocking cardboard boxes where the cats can like run through. Like that's what I'm picturing in my head. So anyways, like I said, she's like a genius, right? Like a math genius at least. And it fast forwards. So like after that, it fast forwards to like her last year in school. She's 19. She has to take some tests, and if you pass the test, I think you get to go to like a school that's like funded by the Spartans or taught by the Spartans or sanctioned by the Spartans. I don't know. She gets to go to some school that'll make her life better. She takes the test, and then they have this thing, you like prick your finger and you drop your blood on the test. I don't understand why. Like, I don't know if the purpose is to see if you are in fact a Spartan, which she was, right? She pricked her finger, her test freaking caught light, it like fucking blew up. And they were like, what the fuck? They called these people in and they like inject her with something, and they were like, if you are indeed a Spartan, you will live, but if you're not a Spartan, you're gonna die. And the guy's like, you're such a dumb bitch, why did you do this? He's like, you know, you're like the 100th girl to do this, and now you're gonna die. Anyway, she doesn't end up dying, right? But again, like, was that the point of the blood test? Or is it to make sure? Maybe it's like to make sure that you are the person in fact taking it. So I guess maybe they have everybody's DNA on standby. I don't know. I was just like, this doesn't make sense, but okay, let's roll with it, right? Because sometimes when you're reading these books, you need to like, some things just don't need to make sense, and you just need to keep going with it. And maybe there are things that make less sense. Maybe this makes more sense than I think it does, but like I was just like, I don't get it. But anyways, she survives, right? Then she's immediately like sent to this like this gladiator fight where she has to like fight for her life. I think there were like 20 people and they had to get down to 10. I was like, how are they all there at the same time? So like obviously everybody takes this test when they finish school, and they all have to be under the age of 20, because I think when you're 20 you're immortal. And so I don't know, now that I'm talking about this out loud, I'm like, how did they all get there at the same time? So everybody in the whole wide world took the test at the exact same time to get there, and they were 20? Or, well, she was in the mortal realm and they weren't. But how did they, I don't know. How did they know to have this fight at that moment is what I'm trying to get at. Like, it doesn't make sense. But anyway, so they have to do this trial, right? Because they say this thing like, immortality isn't a right, it's a gift or some bullshit. So they have to do this. 20 of them. 10 of them get knocked off. She's one of the 10 that stays. Then they have to go through something called the crucible. And then in the crucible, it's just school. It's school with starvation. So I think it's for like 2 weeks at a time. They have to like go through these classes. They like learn about history, the Pythagorean theorem. What else? I don't know. They learn like a bunch of shit. But they're like sleep deprived. They're starved. They're parched. I think like they can't even go to the bathroom. It's like really weird. And apparently like if you're immortal, you can, obviously you live forever, but I think it's like you can go 2 weeks without water or food and blah blah blah, right? So it's basically just like testing their mental capacity when they're in distress. Which sleep deprived and having to like take tests would fucking kill me. So like I get it. So each of the 10 Spartans who pass this like initial fight for their life, this like gladiator all out fight for their life, they're assigned these mentors. So Alexis, she gets 2 mentors. I think it's Achilles and Petra. So anyway, so she has those 2. She goes to the school. She survives the first 2 weeks. Then she goes back to them and she starts noticing that they're like a little touchy-feely, a little friendly with each other, Achilles and Petra. Turns out they're lovers. There's a scene later where you see them getting it on, which I thought was kind of weird because like when I was listening to it, it sounded like they were like on the shore sitting in a chair doing whatever, but I'm just like, that doesn't make sense. Why would they be out there? But I don't know. I should probably like listen again to make sure, but I'm just like, that's a weird place to get it on, but who am I to judge, right? You know, get it where you can, get in where you fit in. There are like these things that are happening to her while she's like at this school, the Crucible. Like she's like hearing voices, people keep dying, she feels like somebody's following her, all these things. Anyway, so let me like wrap this up because I feel like I've talked about this book like just a little bit too much. Come to find out, like one of her teachers, so she has these 2 teachers. I'm gonna say one of their names wrong, but one is Augustus, the other is she says Kieran, but I think it's heron is how you pronounce it. Like the K silent or something. Anyway, so the person who's been following her technically is Heron. He has like 2 invisible dogs that have been like following her, watching her, because he like knows all these things about her. She's like, how do you know these things, right? And it's because of his dogs. And she like thinks he's evil. I mean, probably for good reason. Like they're like 2 types. They're like Olympians. Okay, if I remember correctly, they're all Spartans, but you have Olympians, and then you have Theons. I should really look that up. Oh my god. Anyways, Thonos? I don't know. It's like you have the good ones and the bad ones, right? So she's with the bad ones. Like those are her mentors are the bad ones. Her teachers, at least Augustus and Huron, are the bad ones. So like she has a good reason to think that they're evil. Anyway, so going on through the story, like she starts to learn some things, and basically what she learns is, like I said before, Heron has these dogs following her, and he has these dogs following her because he has a suspicion of like who she is. There's all this like, who is this girl? Like, why is she here? Like, no girl has ever participated in like the Crucible. No girl has ever participated in anything because like they don't have a lot of them, so they're precious. And she's the first, and it's kind of funny because it's just like they call them mutts, but it's just like, well, they can't test their blood, right? Sorry, I'm all over the place, but they can't test their blood to see like who she is, like who her father is. So they assume that she is Zeus's child because she has like, I think it says like golden hair, curly hair, like a bronze color skin or whatever. So it's like she kind of looks like Zeus. But Zeus is like, I don't remember fucking with anybody who looks like how your mama would probably look, right? But I just find it funny that they can't test the blood to see who her dad is. But yet, so she's 19, right? 19 years ago, exactly. The daughter of Phrygia and Hades went missing. So it's just like, y'all so smart because there's no dumb gods, right? They're gods. None of them are dumb. Y'all so smart, but you couldn't figure this out. Technically, Haran figured it out, but it took him a while to figure it out too. So he didn't tell anybody, which is fine. Like, it's his secret. Yeah. It's technically not his secret, but it's his prerogative to not tell anybody about it because he has like this plan in place, which again, there's some things that I don't understand. Like, so once they turn 26, they have to marry an Olympian, I think, so that they can like save the Spartans. Like everybody has to do it, but it seems like you can't marry a guy. I don't know. It's either like, not just like, if you're a guy, you can't marry a guy, is what I think. Like, it has to be like a heterosexual union, I think, so you guys can produce children. But you can't have a throuple, apparently. So Heron and Augustus, it didn't say they were a couple, it said they were partners. When I heard that, I did not immediately think like bisexual or anything, because it never gave that between the two of them. And sorry, this is so crazy because it's just like, he calls him his partner even when they're like in the midst of like some freaky stuff. It's never the two of them. It's like they don't do anything to each other. It's only to the female. So I don't know, like I was confused, like, are you gay or you're not gay? And if you're a partner, then like what does that mean? Like, what's going on here? Whereas like Achilles and the other guy like are clearly into each other, right? Like people can tell, people know, they're in public showing affection toward each other, but these two are not. So I like, that's kind of weird, but okay, whatever. Like I said, Heron figures out who Alexis actually is, and then like it is brought to their attention like at some party because somebody, oh, there's a lot going on. So Zeus has a son. I cannot remember his name. I think it's like Theros or something. Zeus has a son, and apparently his son is out here just killing other Spartans because like he doesn't want to lose his spot to take over Zeus's spot. Like, but he's the favorite one. Like, he's favored. But like, if anybody else even gets like a smidge of attention, he like goes totally like homicidal and kills them. So he thinks, along with everyone else, that Alexis is like Zeus's bastard daughter. So he like does all this stuff, and he finally like kidnaps her, and he like sets a titan on her to kill her, but she somehow escapes. And once she escapes, and like I think Heron maybe finds her, or one of them, maybe her mentors, I don't know, one of them find her, right? So they find her and they ask her what happened, and she says what happens. And then honestly, I don't even remember how did it come out that she wasn't Zeus's daughter. It was like during like some party, right, where it was just like maybe Heron was the one who told them, because he did like have a speech or whatever where he's like telling people stuff. And I'm saying it like this because I forgot to mention that whole like marriage contract that they had to do when they turned 26. He found some loophole, and so by doing the loophole, he somehow tricked Alexis into agreeing to his and Augustus's hand in marriage. There's a lot, okay? So that's how it comes out, because it's just like, I think they were like furious that she was kidnapped, but then like Augustus and him were like, y'all don't have to worry about it, like we're gonna protect her because like surprise surprise, she's our patrol. And everyone's like, what? It was like, yeah, we did the whole thing. Like somebody, obviously Karen and Augusta, like sent her gifts, and they were like body pieces of other people. And then like I think there were jewels underneath it, but she was always so disgusted when she opened the box that she never saw it. And I think you have to like offer her clothes and a blanket. And like she obviously, this girl grew up poor, she didn't have anything. So like if she sees like, oh, like here's a pullover, like let me have it, oh here's the extra blanket, like obviously she's gonna take it. So the whole thing was like Heron actually tricked her. Like he knew that she didn't know that accepting these things or opening these things would mean that she accepts their hand in marriage. Anyways, fast forward like just a little bit, they end up getting married. The three of them, I'm like the three of them, they get married. And during the ceremony, it's like you kiss your bride, but like kiss, I guess, actually means fuck. Because like everyone was like, oh, we gotta go before you kiss the bride. And there's like one guy who's just like laid out, he's chilling, and they're like, what are you doing here? And he was like, hey, the rule said that anybody can watch you kiss the bride. So he like kicks his feet up, he thinks he's about to watch a good show. They're fucking like get into his brain, scramble some shit up, now he's gone. And so then they were like, okay, can we kiss you? And basically she said yes, but they just like ended up fucking her. Well, like, was it actual sex? All I know is Heron was on his knees doing what needed to be done, and I think Augustus was like behind her, like choking her or making out with her or whatever. But apparently he was like, this is your punishment too, like you go a whole hour without coming. I was like, this is such an odd punishment, but like I get it, like if you to the edge and you really want to come but they pull back, like I get it, like that does feel like a punishment, right? But it was a punishment because she didn't keep herself safe. But like, how was she supposed to? She's new to this world, she doesn't know anything. Oh, also, I didn't like the fact that she was technically a virgin and like her first sexual experience was with two men. I did not like that. Like there were other people that she could have slept with before, just to like ease her into it. But like again, I can't remember, because it was like kind of like the last part of the book and I was like rushing listening to it, so I can't remember if they had like actual penetration. Like I know he fingered her. I don't know if there's actual penetration. Whatever, right? It was just like, I don't know. I was just like, I don't know. 19-year-old with a 26-year-old doesn't sound so bad, but like considering that she was also a virgin and like poor, and like she's a little quirky. Like if she was, I don't want this to sound bad, but like if she's just like a normal, like sexually active 19-year-old, like maybe I wouldn't think too much about it. But like she definitely has a sense of innocence about her that, I don't know, it didn't sit right with me personally. Like the scene was, I thought it was kind of steamy, but I do like stuff like that too. But I was just like, do I like this or do I not? Like, does this make me feel weird or does it not? I don't know. I kept going back and forth. And anyway, so like that's kind of like it, right? Anyways, again, I thought it was good. I thought it was interesting. Like their powers were like, well, were their powers that interesting? Like basically like get into your mind. And then they can like poof. They can like jump to other places. So maybe their powers weren't that interesting. But I enjoyed it because like I just thought it was comedy. Like I was just laughing at a lot of the things that Alexis said because I just thought she was funny. And I like the whole like toxic man thing where like the guy is like obviously morally gray or black, but like overprotective of the person he loves. Like I do enjoy that because I'm just like, that's what I want in my life, right? But anyway, so like while I was reading some of the other reviews, so many people did not like this book. They were just like, this book is brain rot, like this book makes no sense. And I'll agree, there are some things like where the book doesn't make any sense, but sometimes you don't read for that. Sometimes you just read for the pleasure of reading. You just want to take your mind off the world and things that are going on. So like, why not? So yeah, I'm really looking forward to the next book. I think it comes out in October. Don't quote me. I think that's what it says. But I'm just looking forward to it because I think, I don't know, I like her writing style. And if Alexis remains funny and like she's pushing back on those two guys that she married, like I think that's good. One criticism that people said, and I agree with it, there are so many times where, so like she has a stutter and she has like a fear of talking to people. She definitely seems like a super introvert and like maybe on the spectrum, right? But there are these times where she's just like, I shouldn't have said that. I need to stop talking. I should never speak again. And then like the next line she's speaking, I'm just like, girl, if you're never gonna speak again, let's just end the book here. Let's call it. Like, why are we going back and forth? And that is something that I've noticed I hate about so many FMCs. Like, oh, I shouldn't do this, I shouldn't do it, and then they do it. I shouldn't say this, and then they say it. I shouldn't think this, and they think it. And it's just like, I don't think that's how, is that how we are? Like, the only time I'm that way is when I'm thinking about a guy, you know, like a toxic guy, like, oh, I shouldn't go back to him, and then I do. But like, that's it. Everything else, like, if I say I'm not gonna do it, I'm pretty sure I'm not gonna do it. Or I'm just gonna be like, you know what, fuck it, this is who I am, and I just own it. But this whole back and forth, hated that. And then someone mentioned also, and I agree with them, I like, it didn't take me off guard, but I was just like, that's kind of weird. Like, she seems like very timid and shy, and like I said before, like she's definitely an introvert. But like at the end of the book, she's like speaking up and like being sassy, and I can kind of see like where it was like building up to that, but it wasn't 100% believable. So I don't know, now that they like made her come and she knows how good it feels to have 2-on-1, I'll be interested to see how her personality changes, because I think those kinds of things changes a girl. I don't know, I can't say that I'm speaking from experience. I'm just saying, I think I think it changes you just a little bit. So I'm gonna just see how her personality develops. I'm also interested to see like her adoptive brother, the one with like the gold eyes. He was brought by a lady who is also a Spartan. So I think it's setting up that he is also a Spartan. So I'm like, okay, who is your daddy? How many other like missing kids are there? So yeah, I want to see like how that plays out. And then apparently this was also like a little weird, and I was just like, huh? Like this did catch me off guard. So Achilles and his boyfriend, I'm not gonna say his name again because I know I'm gonna mess it up. So they said this one thing. They were like, we're together, right? And we usually don't have eyes for anybody else but each other. But like sometimes we're okay with like having another person, which was obviously like some foreshadowing, because like at the end of the book, they were so fucking mad that she got married. I was just like, this is weird. Like, why do you care? Like, y'all acted like y'all couldn't stand this girl for the longest time until y'all saw that like, oh, this bitch is actually intelligent and like fierce, and you know, like she's gonna pass the crucible, so we're gonna become generals, because that was like one of the big things, right? So in my mind, I'm like, y'all got what y'all want, so like why are y'all so mad? But then they were like, she's ours, she just doesn't know it yet, and they're gonna try to figure out a way to take her from Augustus and Haran. And I'm just like, what? Also the way this girl is described, in my mind, how I was picturing her, she doesn't inspire a lot of like lust. Like she just seems like this quirky girl. But like, why are these men just like falling all over themselves for her? I don't know. Like maybe I missed that description where she was like devastatingly beautiful, but I did not get that from what I read, how people treated her, nothing. So I don't know. Also, the invisible snake that she can talk to, who the fuck does that snake belong to? I'm curious. I want to know. The snake can't speak the name of the person that she is like tethered to. She just says that they're gone. So like, who is that and why? Like, what happened? I need some backstory. Yeah, I didn't get into like her powers or anything. Like that may come into play later. I mean, it's part of the reason of how Haran figured out who she was. But like outside of that, I don't know. I don't know if her powers are important. Like maybe the next book I'll know. But yeah, so oh goodness, that's the book. Read it or don't. I say do. I enjoyed it. I thought it was funny. I would definitely recommend it with just like a few like trigger warnings onto it. But yeah, I would 100% read the next book and review it. So yeah, again, as always, I don't know what I'll be doing next, so I can't tease it, but it will be something and it will be coming out. As I continue to do these videos, I'll get better, I'm sure. Maybe not, we'll see what happens. But bye you guys. Make sure to tune in next time for Boozy, where I'll discuss books that are worth sipping over.